right? There's no such thing that I can point at and I say, that's an economy. No, it doesn't exist in the physical world, but it exists only in our minds. Yet we all believe in an economy. We say, hey, we have inflation. What is inflation? Like, where is it? Show me inflation. We're like, in the physical sense.
You're saying it's not physical.
It's not physical, but we believe in it. So it exists.
My argument now, you said that if I was presented 10,000 pesos or if I was presented $10,000, which one would I choose? Now, that was to me not valid because I would choose what will be equivalent in both, and I would be able to do what I like as long as I can convert it. So if I had $10,000 and however many pesos it takes to convert that much money into USD, I would be okay because it would be converted. Now, the concept of it being converted is still in aspects physical because you have to have this amount of money. So you saying that this money here does not exist because it's physical. I mean, this money here does not have any physical any physical value. It's all mental.
Yeah.
So everything here has to do with us having a mental concept of the money, and that's the reason why we have it as our trader and bargaining force. Like it backs us up because we think about it more than we actually do about it. So I think possible that physical money does still have value, and the reason why it has value is because it's been documented that this has that value. That documentation is something that would be physical. So that means that it's still physically existing here.
Okay. What about an economy? What is the physical representation of an economy? Like, can you show me an economy? Like, you can show me a picture of an economy, or point out a certain like thing where you say, hey, that's an economy. Where is it?
So my argument here is the different things that you would consider as being in an economy. Your concept of an economy may not be able to be pointed out physically, but there may be some sort of economy. Because think about it like this: have you ever thought about ants?
Ants?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ants.
Their colonies do the same thing that we do.
Oh, ants.
Ants, A-N-T.
I thought you said ants.
Oh, no.
Okay.
It's mine, I forgot it, right? No. Ants, their colonies do the same things that we do. They have soldiers, they have workers, they have people that provide. They come all the way up so that they can make sure that one person is okay, which is supposed to take care of everybody, making sure that everyone is okay. I would think that that would be the same concept as a government, which would supposedly not exist physically. It has to do everything with mental cognition and the way that we want to move around thinking. I don't believe that that makes it nullified. There's some good stuff I'm eating here, but I don't believe that makes it nullified that for an economy to exist physically. I just think that the concept of your economy may be different. Because, all right, look, do you think that if there was a colony of ants that they don't have their own economy?
No, they don't.
Why do you think
they don't? They don't, because economy is based on, there's things that like trade, manufacturing, exporting, importing, and I'm pretty sure ants don't have that.
Yeah, I want to Google it. You got your phone?
Like they don't trade like that's like they can collect food, they can collect sources, yeah.
Exactly.
But
they do have an economy because you know what they're trading and what they're doing it all for one thing. yes, it's not big on a large scale like us to where economy is we're trading with different regions and countries and things like that, but they're doing this all for the queen. So everything
Okay,
that
well,
they're
they have a
gonna get,
hierarchy. They have a
they have a
okay.
hierarchy.
They have a hierarchy, but
Yeah.
okay, they have a
They have a
sort of
hierarchy,
like a
but these things that are being moved around the hierarchy are being based on trying to provide. You
okay,
provide with things that are given to you throughout an economy.
okay. But you see, like, okay, they have a queen, right? So that makes her like sort of like on top of the hierarchy, right? So for us as humans, you can go up in the social hierarchy based on things like money and wealth, which technically don't exist in the real world. Like there's no physical existence of wealth. There are pieces of paper we say, okay, that's money. We like that. That makes you better, or that makes you like wealthier. But in the physically, the reason why a chimp would always pick a banana over like $10 million is because they're able to understand only the physical value of something. The, the reasoning for that chimp is like, okay, one has uh, a physical value, nutrients, that's a banana. The other is a piece of paper. What am I gonna do with it? Like I can just wipe my ass with it. Like it doesn't matter. The physical value of a piece of paper is less valuable to the chimp than banana. Yet it's $1 billion, for example. It's 1 billion. But for every human being will always, I assure you, like almost guaranteed, will always pick the $1 billion over the banana. Yet the physical value is constant. It's the same. Also, like even if we explain to a person, look, the physical value of a banana is more valuable than the piece of paper, the cash. You gotta, yeah, it's okay. Just give me the cash. Give me the $1 billion. The reason why a human would pick that and not the chimp is because we have the capacity to attribute value that is backed by concepts, beliefs, set of concepts, set of ideas that we believe in collectively. Then something exists because we also said, we all believe, for example, it's in the non-physical value of it. But the physical value of it is actually, it's less valuable than the food source in the physical realm. Yet we live by, most of the things that we live by, corporations, companies, economies, governments, I mean, these are all concepts. They exist also because we believe in them. We believe that in their non-physical existence, we abide by their rules. We, we work at corporations even though there's no such thing as a corporation physically. So if you said like only physical things are true, then most of what govern our lives today doesn't exist. Which I argue that is not the case. Existence can be or can happen despite the non-physical characteristic of it. Like we could also, there are things that could exist that we don't have the physical trace of it, or the physical sense to touch.
That honestly, I understand. I understand the points that you're trying to prove. Let's go back to where we're talking about the chimp or the monkey or the animal, whatever animal it is. We're talking about $10,000, and would the $10,000 be valuable to this particular animal, whatever animal you want to choose? And I think no. The reason why it won't be valuable to that animal is because they don't have the same concept. Now, think about the fact that this animal has food. If that animal was able to trade this money to get the food that it needs, then that money would be valuable. But if that animal does not have to trade or anything for its resources, then whatever it is that it has to do to get its resources will be considered the same thing as whatever our money is. So if a vine was what gets them the banana, then that vine would be the same exact thing as what money would be for us. Does that make sense? So it's
Okay, but
the argument would be a little bit different if it was introduced in a way like there's 10,000 vines and the vines will be able to lead me to this many bananas versus I have $10,000 and these dollars will be able to lead me to this option of food. So this reason here is why animal would not think or think that they would want to choose something to get something to trade with, because that's not the concept. But to understand that the animal does understand the concept of value, we both know that an animal would be able to all right, we both know that an animal would be able to, if you had a dispenser, like I was saying in our previous debate or previous continued debate, if we had a dispenser and the dispenser was full with food, the animal would eat as much as it needs and eventually get full and stop. If the animal stops, then that means the animal understands the value of what feeds him and fills him. So he needs to save this so he can do the same thing again. And he'll do it again and again until he cannot. That's the same thing we do with money. We spend it and we spend it again and again until we cannot. And then when we do that, we understand the value. So we understand the value of money because we understand what it's like to lose it. So the reason why you understand what it's like to lose it is not physical, but losing it is physical.
okay, but
That's what
But the
that's
reason-
what gives you the concept. Concepts come from
Okay.
having consequences.
okay. So, but we, like to us, you can never explain the concept of money to an animal. They can never get it because they can't believe in things that are non-physical. Because physically speaking, it's a piece of paper. That's it. But you would understand it.
I understand
Right,
that.
okay.
I would.
The reason why is, so in this sense that you're saying money only exists in our minds. It's a concept.
I don't think money only exists in our minds. I think value only exists in our
Okay.
minds. I think the choice of words that you're choosing is wrong, but I think that I am agreeing with you in certain aspects. But your choosing of words and the fact that this is being a debate, I have to choose a side and stick completely, wholly, solely to this one side. If you were to say value is a concept that is only not physical, then I would say yes. If you said money is, I don't think they're the same thing. I don't think that that's the same.
Okay, well, show me physically money. What is it physically? What's a physical?
Physically,
What is the
money-
physical representation of money?
Physical, the representation of money is the same thing, regardless of whatever it would look like in whatever region. That's what money is. Even if
What is it?
money was a soda can wherever you would live, that would be considered as money.
Okay, exactly. So it's a concept.
It is a
Okay,
concept.
so it can be a soda can, or it can be a coin.
The concept will
or it could be cash, or it could be a number written on a digital, even like on your phone screen.
Mhm.
Most of our money we handle it in the digital world.
What's going on, Harry Scary?
Piece of paper and pieces of paper. So money is a concept.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're able to understand the money is a concept. We believe in it, that exists, and that makes us unique because animals can never understand because they're not able to comprehend concepts. Anything that is non-physical, they can't comprehend it. They can't say, okay, it exists. However, we can do that because hence here in this case we can say money exists even though it's a concept. It's a concept. So we can still believe in things that exist that don't have an actual physical representation, like money, like an economy, like currency.
That's not
Trade.
true. What I'm saying is your choice of words is what's making everything a fallacy. So, like, you're saying that money does not exist. It only exists mentally. Money exists physically. The value of money only exists mentally. Because I could say $1, even if it had a number one, I could say a $1 bill is equal to a $3, $4, $5 bill. But if the physical money says $1 bill, then I would say, what is that? And I would say that's a piece of thing that says a number one on it. Is a $1 bill on there.
The whole definition of money. The whole definition of money is what?
The whole definition of money?
Yeah, it's non-physical. The whole concept of money is non-physical. Like, in order for you to actually have money, you need to believe in something that is called an economy, trade, selling and buying. If you don't have any of these other concepts as well, it's not gonna be there. Like, what is money? Like, where is it? Where is it a physical representation of it? Like, we established, okay, we can have an apple, a banana, like that's a food source.
Mm-hmm.
And even animals understand that, okay, that has no chance that's valuable because it has physical value. Whereas with money, what is the representation of it? Like, how does it? Physically, it doesn't have an existence in the physical world. It's more of a concept. Physically, what we have, sometimes we have just a piece of paper. We used to have like random coins, like we write down, okay, that's $1, that's $5, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it is digital. Sometimes it could be in any other form, but the entire thing is a concept. Is a non-physical
I think.
thing. Yeah, that's it.
No, I don't think. I believe that the concept that you are trying to describe here is actually the value of money. Physically, money is whatever that you've seen or touched. That you said what money was. If it was not, you wouldn't even have the word money that you're saying. Now, the word money there, that's another thing that I would say is a concept. The word money. The way that we use words. You are called a you. What's a you? You're a you. I'm a me. What's a me? Because when I'm talking about a you, and which is a you, now you become a me when you're talking about you. But that's the way that works. You understand what I mean? So with that saying, that's a concept. That concept there is confusing, but that's the same thing as I think, therefore I am, which sounds like, or if you think something, then it is something. If I think this has no meaning, then it does have no meaning. That's not the way that works, though. Because this physical money, it exists, and we call it money. And that's what you see as money. The value of the money is subjective. Because if I take that money somewhere else, it may not be valued. Or if that money get ripped, it don't matter. It's not going to work. But if the money gets ripped, what do we call it? Ripped money. That means that it's still money.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that the money has the same value, because the value is the concept.
Okay, where's the
not.
physical value? Where is physical? Where is it?
There is no such thing as a physical value.
No, but, okay, what's the physical form of money?
The physical form of money is something that you can trade. That does not mean it has to be green. That does not mean it has to be any color or a piece of paper. That don't mean it has to be metal. It has to be something that can be traded, something that can be given and back and forth. Because my necklace could be money. It was at one point in time.
Okay, what's the physical representation of a U.S. dollar?
The U.S. dollar?
Yeah.
The physical representation of the U.S. dollar is something that is perceived to be something that would hold value here and in other places.
Okay, so you need to have perception for you to actually understand the existence of US dollars. Mm-hmm. You need to perceive the value of it.
Yeah, you have to perceive it. And that would be what's not physical.
Okay, yes.
The value of it and perception of it is what's not physical. Okay. So your value is not physical. Your perception is that it's not physical, just like those fries. How much do those fries cost? If I told you those fries were expensive, now all of a sudden these are great fries. If I told you these fries were a penny, then all of a sudden
Yes.
they're penny fries, but they taste the same. Now, the value that you put on those fries, that could be $1 million bowl, $1,000 bowl, or less or more.
All right.
You tickle me. All right, so yeah, that would be less or more. But the reason why those fries have any type of value or anybody to consider any kind of thoughts about them is because they exist physically.
Okay.
So now that they exist physically, and I see these fries. What are the fries? The fries are those. What do we call fries? We call these fries that. That's what's called a fry. That is the fry. How much do the fries cost? That's subjective.
Okay. But you still need to perceive
Mm-hmm.
something that is non-physical for you to understand the concept of money and its existence. It's you have it's a prerequisite to understand money and how it works and what is more valuable than the other. And currency, it's a prerequisite to understand the concepts of money, the non-physical concepts of an economy, of monetary value. So you, if we go back to the original argument, which is anything that is non-physical isn't true, it doesn't exist, then this is one instance where money doesn't exist because it doesn't have a like there's a banana, that's a banana, like across the globe. You go everywhere, everybody's gonna tell you, an animal or a human, they're gonna say that's a banana. However, the concept of money, it's only mental, it's non-physical. We also like attribute different values to, hey, this is US dollars, this is British pound, this is Canadian dollars, etc. So we can even place different values to different currencies as well. It's all, the whole concept of money and how valuable it is, it's a prerequisite to understand it. You must believe in the non-physical concepts underlying this, the idea of money. The set of beliefs, the set of concepts, the set of ideas surrounding money is what makes you always choose $1 billion over some fries. Whereas any other animals would, I assure you, I guarantee you,
That makes sense.
they'll pick the food. But so, if we are capable of understanding things that are perceptive, concepts, things like money, economies, government, etc., these are all non-physical
That makes sense.
things.
But, there always has been some form of trade since the beginning of time. Money was invented to replace gold as currency to be universal, which is exactly what I'm trying to explain here. I'm saying that the value is something that can be subjective. The physical thing is something that's being traded and bartered. Money is not green, gray, or whatever. This could be money. This could be let's not do that. But this could be money. That's money. Those fries could be money. Money is some form of something that I can trade to get something. So that's why when you said that when an animal like a chimpanzee or something like that sees $10,000 or 10,000 bananas, which one do they see as more valuable? I said that they see the one as much valuable, which works the best in their realm. Now, for me, I know that if I had $10,000 and I had this plate of food, but providing the fact that this is not the only plate of food and I am allowed to go ahead and buy other plates of food and people will still be making food while I have my money, and the money is what they trade, then the value can be there. But I can get the money. Value is always subjective. And then as you see, is this the only person talking to us? Hi, Ash Pookbag. I don't know if I said your name right, but I appreciate you joining us in this debate. It's pretty fun, and got my guy here, and we just been pretty much just hanging around. We're not angry or anything. We just like talking like this. The value can be subjective if those were the last fries on the planet and the man was starving, they could be worth $1 million. Do you remember earlier
Okay.
I said that?
Okay.
I said if these were the only fries and I'm not able to get any other fries, then I'm taking the fries. I don't want the $1 million because you can't get them. If I have $1 million and I can get more fries, I'm gonna get more fries. Now, if there was no bananas and the only thing to eat was the money and the money was edible and the chimp knew that, then now the money is valuable to the chimp because the money will get the chimp full and there is no food. So now that's cool, but the value is subjectable because it depends on these different issues to arise in order for us to consider the actual value and determine how much it's worth.
Okay. Well, to explain, okay, I have a question for.
Hi, scary. I think I said hi to you, scary.
Okay, well, I have a question for you, for
Very
the
scary.
gentleman who joined us here. So, would you say that? Because I mean, originally I used this argument, the existence of money, and its subjective value, to respond to the main question, which was um, anything that is non-physical, therefore doesn't exist. So would you say that only physical things exist, or things that has a physical representation uh, exist, or can there be things that exist that are non-physical? And this is why I use the concept of money, an economy, etc., government, because I was arguing that a lot of things that govern our lives today are non-physical.
It. Can I add? Or
Yeah, well, let's see if the gentleman's going to respond to the question now. So, do you believe that anything that doesn't have a physical representation, would you say that discredit that thing from existing, or there could be things that still exist that are non-physical?
I wonder if they're gonna respond. I hope you do. But
But
would you be fine with me speaking in the middle
yeah,
of them
yeah, because that
responding?
was what we
Well,
were talking about.
actually, we're doing really
Yes.
good, and like I said, we're doing this it's for the fun of both of us.
And annoying everybody.
We're annoying everybody, but I know that we're trying our best to be as professional and try our best to do this the way that we know that it's done, to the point where we even introduce different ways of how we can, make it easier for us to continue to do the debate. Like, which now that we understand, I think it's working, which is why that did need to be there. But no. So
Started late.
I'm just saying. So like pretty much, it was the existence of human being and mankind. So Homo sapiens have existed for
1,000.
300,000 years. All right, so 300,000 Homo sapiens have been existing for 300,000 years. How do we know that without any physical or DNA, physical evidence or DNA or any kind of chemistry or some type of scientific thing being relevant? We don't. And the thing is, his argument will, from my understanding, his argument would be that those different things are able to exist without ever even being scientifically proven or physically proven. And I said that that's cool, but that would be subjective. We would not know if it exists or not to exist, because then the only thing that you would be able to consider would be something vocally done, because you're not considering the fact that it was something physical. So written is physical, so it has to be only vocal. So that means he say, she say, which means that if this person does not necessarily say it correctly, now we just misconstrued the whole entire idea, and we have the wrong concept and the wrong understanding of the basis. So now we don't know exactly what's true or what's false because it's not been proven scientifically or physically. Now, when we talk about physically, he said, how did it get proven physically? I said the way things can get proven physically, it doesn't have to necessarily do with digging up bones, but excavation itself. If I was going to dig up something, then I can dig up something and I can go ahead and grab me some clothing, or find me some coins, or find anything that had to do with the existence of human being and mankind. If I can't find those type of things, then I know for a fact I have to reconsider if any of this actually happened. Reconsidering does not mean that you just decided to say that it did not happen, but reconsidering means that I have to understand that this is more ambiguous and vague than what I actually realized. So, with that being said, existence is only being able to be proven, correctly proven, if there is something physically done. You cannot not physically, you can't say something verbally and say that that proves it. Just like when we in this debate, there's actually no guarantee that any one of us are actually right or wrong, because these are words. We can only go off of what, even if this person seems like they're actually agreeing with me, whatever, they could actually not be agreeing with me. They could only be agreeing with what they're saying, because if I thought that, that's actually subjective itself. Anything that has to do with the brain and thinking that does not have to do with coming out is what is considered as subjective. So anything like what's on the other side of that door right now and we're over here is subjective. Asia could be here. We don't know that. You know why? Because we haven't walked back there.
Who's Asia?
The girl that lived up there.
Okay.
So like we don't know that because we ain't walked back there. If we walk back there and we see her, then that means we know she there. If we go back there and she not, then she not. If I go out this front door, outside may exist and may not exist. You know why it may and may not exist? Now, I know that that's more quantum reality and quantum thinking, but outside may not exist. So if outside may not exist, then that means the only way for me to figure out if outside exists is for me to physically find out. And when I physically, like you said yesterday about the babies being boys, if I fuck around and find out, you know what I'm saying?
Fuck around and find out. That's the best way to learn.
Yeah. But no.
That's
If I physically go outside and find out if it exists, now I can prove that it's not subjective because I see what's going on. But other than that, everything else would be subjective.
Quick question.
Did they?
What is this like? What app is that?
I'm on my YouTube live now because I've been doing live YouTube.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna send this to my wife. I want her to join.
Go ahead.
What's your channel? Hold on.
He said, hold on.
Hey, she's been texting me like, you wanna have a call?
Oh, she don't know what you be doing? Yeah. Well, he don't be doing nothing if she sees it. She'd probably be like, dang, go to sleep. All you do is just sit here and argue.
Oh, she knows because
Oh, she does. She does that with you too.
She does that with her family too, and we used to do it.
Oh, and y'all know everybody.
Hey, Jazz. Listen. Hey, I have been in a debate for how long ago? How long?
We've
ago?
probably been in a debate for a good 2 hours now.
Okay, hey, for the past 2 hours, I've been in
I
a
understand
debate.
what you're saying.
Okay,
for
well,
instance, in my
one of the
tribe
guys
and
here in the
many
house,
others,
I'm-
shells
he's
were
started
the
the live right now.
currency. They come
I don't
from
want you
the
to join
ocean,
because
and it
we're-
took
we're
an effort
finishing
to
up, so I don't want
collect
you to
it,
join.
which is the value.
It started live. It's on.
And
What is this on? YouTube?
them and they were a physical
Yeah.
representation.
YouTube, right?
Yes, this is YouTube.
So how can she find it?
My YouTube name is Nuwades 2 times.
Okay.
I could spell it for her.
Type.
It's Nuwades.
No, Jesse, back me up. I need help.
No, it's not gonna work because this guy is saying what exactly.
Because he's got one guy supporting him.
No, it's not about him supporting me. No, like he's only supporting me because this is what is necessary.
Hold on, what did he say?
He said,
Wait.
Like how I told you, he's saying that
And
in his
mine?
country, seashells was money.
Well, he says we're texting it right now.
2 times
So did you? Wait.
YouTube.
The value.
On YouTube.
Shells. Okay. Okay. All right, but okay. Okay. Let me know when you find it. Okay. Text me.
All right, so look.
Hold
so
on. Hold on. But let me ask a question.
See, he
but
want her
that
to
wasn't
help
my
him so
question.
bad.
But that wasn't my question. Wait. So, my question to you is: anything? Would you say that something only exists if it has a physical representation?
No.
Or you could also believe in things that exist that are
Thank you.
that don't have a physical representation. Like, for example, you said in your tribe, for example, you use something shells as money, but like, for example, like if I bring US dollars around where your tribe is, probably they're not going to consider that money because they collectively believed that money is, in this case, what do you say, the shells, ocean shells. But for example, in other places, okay, it's a piece of gold. Other places, it's a piece.
Okay.
It's a piece of paper. It's cash. The original question is: do you believe that things could exist that don't have an actual physical representation, and we could also still kind of live by and deal with, like, the whole concept of money, government, economies, etc., etc.
Is that
So
your
that
wife?
was-
Did she join?
Jazzy, are you there? Jazzy,
If you are, just respond.
Jazzy.
I think we could add her too.
Hey, that's her.
Yep, she here. Hey, how
Okay.
you doing?
Okay, so
Alright.
Jazzy, look, the question was, we've been talking for 2 hours.
He got to remind her. This is ongoing.
2 hours. Listen, talking about things that exist. Does something exist? Would something exist that doesn't have a physical representation in the real world? Or we can also rely on physical representation of something to say, okay, it exists. Because he has been arguing that anything that doesn't exist in the physical realm, therefore it's not there. I responded with, most of the things that govern our lives today, we live by, are things that don't have any existence in the physical way, but they exist mentally. Is that we have a capacity to believe in things that exist that are non-physical. They're only mental or conceptual.
So,
Okay, so that's the main
Alright.
argument.
I understand how you're saying that paper money isn't real. It's a fugazi. Like, the economy is a fugazi, which he actually brought up in another we've talked about the economy itself. It is made up of thin air. They make the value into the consumer, and that's systematic. So what my argument is anything systematic, like how this person is saying, or anything that has what value holds, would be subjective. Anything subjective is anything that has to be thought about. It only cognition, like, is only in your brain. So physically we can find out we chose the existence Homo sapiens and how they've been here for 300 million years. 1,000. I keep wanting to exist so long, but 300,000 years. All right, so we got 300,000 years of living here. How can we prove that we existed without proving that we existed physically, or finding some type of DNA, or using some type of chemistry, some type of action to figure out how we are living? So he said that we don't have to prove it. I'm saying, what was that word?
Cogito ergo sum.
Cogito ergo sum. I can't say it, but if pretty much that's how I feel. He thinks, and therefore it is. If you think and therefore it is, then it's subjective. I can't prove that in real life that Homo sapiens have been living for 300 million years unless I can go ahead and excavate, dig up, or go find something. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be their DNA, but I can find a seashell, like, or something that you can trade or barter, and that's how we got into that in the elaboration. But something that you could trade or barter, a seashell, a piece of money, or something that they use to eat with, or some type of utensils or something like that, that proves that existence. Now, if I don't have anything like that physically to prove that existence, then that means that the only thing that I would have to be verbal, because even if it was written down, even if you can see it, it had to have been physical. And the only thing that's not physical to prove something is your mouthpiece in the words that you say. So that would be he say, she say, which means that you can have the telephone, love, hope, and fear.
Yeah, they're not physical.
Love, hope, and fear are not physical, and that's why they're subjective. So everything like love does not necessarily exist to everybody. Love is subjective. There's some people who do not believe that love exists. There's some people who do not have hope. There's some people who do not believe that they fear at all and don't fear. That's why we see people die accidentally, but they did not die out of fear. Like Evil Knievel. Like, you know what I mean? Like a stunt devil. A stunt devil will go ahead and do some crazy things that you probably think should be feared. Now, they don't fear these things because they don't have that concept. And the reason why they don't have that concept is because it's subjective. But they experience it whether or not they believe it. Not necessarily, that's subjective. You think that they experience it, and for you to think it, and this is a debate, so you have to think and debate thinking, that means that is I think, therefore I am, which means subjective, not necessarily true.
Okay, but what she's trying to say is that, you know, these things could still be experienced, even though they have no physical representation. Like, I don't think any of us could point out what love looks like in the physically. Like, hey, that is love, that's hate, that's fear, that's bravery, whatever. But I'm sure every human being, I mean, even love, and I think love and hate, even animals have that in common with us. They could experience it. Is that they could also experience it without it, even though there are no physical traces of that. So if we go by the main idea that, okay, anything that's non-physical doesn't exist, and therefore these things shouldn't exist. But yet they do exist.
So if love, hope, and fear exist, prove it.
Prove it? Yeah, well, like what I could prove is
Find me some love and some fear and some hope. How would you do that?
Okay, I can do that by showing you the reactions or consequences.
You gotta put him on the spotlight because he can't show me that.
Well, the reaction and consequences. Or
air?
Hold on.
Air? Wait. Well, then what about... Oh, air.
Hold on. Here. Well, how I show it to you is by showing to you
see air, but we need to
it's illustrated in a set of
you can see
behavior
air
and actions, right?
That's what combustion is. When you have air, you have combustion. Anything combustion, air is fire. Air is oxygen. Oxygen is combustion. When you see air, if I had air and I pressure air and I let air come out and air move faster than the speed of the air that was around it, you would see air.
Yeah, okay, that's a great point. Your body has physical reactions to love, hope, and fear. There are brain scans that can show it. Okay.
All right, so then if that was true, then you still proved me right. It can't exist unless it was something physical there.
Okay. But this is also like earlier, because we talked about presenting an animal with $1 billion on one hand and whatever their food source is.
Mhm.
And we said that the animal is always going to pick the food, right? When I asked you, which one did you choose?
I said the one that would
But,
have.
no, which one you picked when I said $1 billion
Oh yeah, yeah.
or some
I
fries?
remember.
Which one did you pick?
I said if these were the only fries in the world,
But they're not.
then no. If they're not, I said you asked me, so I have to give you the answer without. And I'm choosing to be as ambiguous and broad as I can. But if these were the only fries right here in the world, nobody else had any fries, and this is the only meal in the world, and there would be no other meal made. Concept, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily real, but we're just saying because this is just brief. What's what we're considering today. So there's no way to make another plate ever. Then that $1 million means nothing to me if I had to eat to live. If I did not have to eat to live, and those was the only things there, and all of those instances occurred, I would still not pick it because I did not have to eat. I would pick the $1 million.
Billion.
But or $1 billion. I'm still broker than that. So if it was
Let's go with $10.
All right, yeah, 10. Let's go with $10. Let me get 15. If it's my friend, man. But all right, so like, look, if there was $1 billion, and that $1 billion was able to get me everything I needed, including the food that I'm seeing here that's being compared to if there is $1 million and if there's not, then I would go ahead and get the $1 million and buy some food, providing the fact that food has still been in production. If it's not been in production and I can't get anything, then the $1 million doesn't mean anything.
Okay, so everything as it is, as you know today, fries
Everything
and,
as it is,
and $1 billion.
and $1 billion.
Yeah, there's still food you can buy.
Yeah.
Which one you choose?
If,
you said $1 billion.
then I would get $1 billion.
Okay, so there's you know what's gonna happen if we look at if we do a brain scan of the animal when we present their favorite food, and then we do a brain scan when we present them with $1 billion, what we're gonna notice is that when they see the food, their brain is gonna secrete dopamine, serotonin. They're excited, they're happy.
Mm-hmm.
There are physiological changes. However, they get no physiological reaction when they're presented with a stack of cash.
Mm-hmm.
That's $1 billion. However, the opposite is true when it comes to you. When I show him $1 billion, well, if I show him like, Jazzy, we made this. I made the shawarma today.
It was good.
Yeah, if I show him the fries, you're probably not gonna get that excited. Like you'll be like, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if I scan your brain after I show you $1 billion, hold on, 1 second, hold on. Your body is gonna respond to that physiologically, and you're going to have the same reaction as that animal because you said, okay, that's very valuable. Your dopamine is skyrocketing, the serotonin, etc. What happened there is that you were able to interpret something that is very valuable, even though the physical representation of it is a piece of paper. It has no value.
No.
But what made you respond to that physiologically?
What?
You could still believe its existence, and it's the same concept.
I'm getting lost on the two sides of the debate. What was the original question? All right, so the original question is the reason why you may be getting lost in the debate. That stuff is bomb. I'm gonna have to make me some. But look, the reason why you getting lost in the debate a little bit is because we have been debating for about 2.5 hours. So we already have some sub arguments that we have been bringing back, which I don't understand how we remember any of this because we did not write any of it. Doing a great job, sir, again. Yeah. Keeping track of everything. But very vivid timelines in our heads, and we just been representing them so that we can strengthen our arguments maybe. But really the base of the argument is, can something exist physically and can something be proven to exist if it did not be proven physically or have anything scientifically done to prove that it exists? So that's bringing us on to humans existing, the concept of economy existing, things like what is value, things like what is this, and then what he's getting stuck on, or what we're both getting stuck on, is right now is money, because money is something that has value, but it doesn't exist. Now, my argument is that nothing everything has to either be proven physically or scientifically. And if it has not been proven physically or scientifically, then it falls unto a fallacy, because it only can be he say, she say, and that rules out that we don't know for sure who altered the definition or the words or the idea of whatever is being presented to us now. So with money, people attach emotion, then it's exactly. So everything that you do, it has to be subjective. So hope, love, all of that stuff is subjective, because I could say love does not exist. Somebody could never experience love in their life, but it has to be subjective. So if because they can experience love, but I don't know what love is. So I can't tell you what love look like. I can't tell you love physically looks like this. I can't tell you hope is possible. I can't tell you, what was the other word?
Fear.
Fear. I can't tell you fear, but let's see what this person is saying. I didn't read it all. If people attach an emotion, then it's subjective, right? One can hate life, one can love life, but a newborn's baby's views are objective, because they can't love or hate. Once you're first born, like your baby and my baby, they don't know what love or hate is. They just high. You can give them poison, and you can give them valuable goods. They accept them all the same. But once you put on to some type of mental reality check, then they start changing that and realizing that this is what I want and this is what I don't want. But that's because they have been introduced to subjective meaning.
Okay, yes, but this is why, for example, we don't hold babies accountable in a court, because there's no way like we could.
No, that's not. That's not going to help you win this one.
No, but hold on. For example, okay, babies, until they start understanding these subjective concepts, that's where we go. Okay, we're now part of a society, and they're able to understand how things work. It's only a phase. I mean, a baby's only understanding objective physical things. Okay, I mean, you could also argue that the baby doesn't understand anything. It's just a brain reaction to light, a reaction in the brain to sound. But it's a phase. I mean, that baby's one day is gonna grow up, and they would start understanding, and they would start grasping these concepts, these subjective ideas. Most of what governs our lives today as humans are subjective concepts. We no longer just live by, hey, something is physically there, therefore exists. If it's not physically there, then it doesn't exist. Show me where a government is. What is the physical representation of a government? What's the physical representation of an economy? Okay, I can show you a tree. There is something as a tree. There's a physical representation as a tree. However, we go to work. We go to work for a company that doesn't exist, only exists in our minds. We get paid money that has value because we believe it has value. We, turn on the news and we, hear things about inflation, interest rates, how strong is an economy or how weak is it. It's all conceptual. It's all conceptual, and it's subjective. Yet, that is what governs our life today, as humans, everywhere in the world. And honestly, you don't have to be stuck with money. Think of, things like university, schools, knowledge. So, if things only exist as long as they have a physical representation, then that could be a major flaw, because most of the things we believe in are non-physical. We have the capacity to believe in mental, non-physical forms of existence. We can do that, but animals can't, and that was the original idea. Is can we use the something physical traces as a measure as the only measure to prove existence, or not?
See, that's where subjective
I'm just gonna
things.
read the
Oh, no,
comments.
you could. I love subjective, objective analysis. That's probably what we call this. And when I title it, that's probably what I would title that. I wish I could, boom,
No,
put it at.
hold on. I'm gonna read the other one.
All right, for sure.
One can hate life and one can. Okay, we read it. Okay, so where does imagination come into play? Because we are natural creatures. Everything at one point hasn't existed at all. I lost subject it breaks down
Like
many
that's a
things
question for me.
to its ultimate value and meaning. Okay. So, well, Jasmine first asked, where does imagination come into play? Because we were natural creators. Everything at one point hasn't existed until it does.
So then let me go ahead and answer this for you. All right, so look, listen. All right, so imagination falls into the category of belief. When you said prove does not mean belief. It mean it is. You can't try to believe the hope what it is. It is what it is. If we imagine something, that's subjective. If it is, then it's there. It's solitude. It's solitary. It stays there. You can't change it. There's no other way around it. And then let me keep going though. So you said that if people attach an emotion, then something is subjective. One can hate life, one can love life, but a newborn baby's views are objective. So physical and finding of DNA and excavating things and digging up things and stuff like that, that makes things objective. Physical money, regardless of what it costs or how much you want to consider it as or what region it is or what type it is, that's objective. Even if it was, this is money, it's a plate, that's money, objective. But when you go ahead and see something and think about it and you're using I cannot say this man's name. Say it again. Something.
I've said it like 5 times.
I know. I can't say it. I've never been able to say it my whole life, but I know what it is.
Cogito ergo sum.
Cogito ergo soto. Something like that. But yeah, like if you think therefore I am, that is subjective, and that does not mean that is necessarily true. You know what I'm saying? This is where emotional growth is so important to human progression. If someone is overly emotional, many mistakes are made. Gotta pimp them emotions. You know why you gotta pimp them emotions?
High five to that guy.
No, straight up.
Sorry,
that's a high five for you, because we all need to be pimping on emotions. Who is that? That's I spook.
I spook back.
Oh, I spook back.
I agree 100%. Yep. I agree 100%.
I agree with that. So if you
100%.
agree, then that means you just agree with
No,
me.
no, that's different. I agree with him.
He's telling you the same thing.
No, that's not your side. I agree with him.
He's telling you what I'm saying. Look, listen. He's saying emotional growth is so important to human progression. So if somebody is overly emotional, they make mistakes. If somebody is overly emotional, you know how you become a lot of emotional?
He said Irish book means money in my tribe.
Oh, that's cool. What tribe are you from, man? Because we haven't asked you. I'm sorry. Man, but yeah. Okay. I appreciate you sticking it through.
Well, he's talking about emotional intelligence.
Yeah, having emotional intelligence, especially
Because I'm someone who dealt with severe consequences from having being around somebody that doesn't have emotional intelligence, gets over emotional and cause a lot of problems. Like you can, there's nothing good that could come out of somebody not in control of their emotions and they don't have emotional growth. But I mean, how much of that is taught, right? DJ, where did you learn about that?
What did I learn
Seriously.
about what?
Emotional intelligence. Did you learn about that in school?
You know, I learned about emotional intelligence from like I used to be the pimp. You know what I'm saying? So I learned about the emotional intelligence from over there with the pimp.
Yeah, fuck around and find out method.
Pretty much fuck around, find out method. I had to deal with a lot of different women, a lot of different things and situations that transpired either good or bad. I mean, like, you know what I mean? And in real life, you gotta understand that you can't always control situations. And when you deal with people that try to control situations and lack emotional intelligence, it eventually turns into a emotionally abusive or a manipulative type of situation. Once you understand what those things are.
He said North California.
Yeah, he from the NA. He from North California. Oh! Now that is part of what we were talking about. I don't know if you want to get into it, but he from North California. He said his tribe, he's indigenous and he is native. You get what I'm saying now? So now our concept of how this all started too was because we was talking about if we exist and we was here, and I was telling them how African Americans and natives were here and they got chose for different names. So African Americans were here too, natives were here. They got tripped up into different places. Spanish came over here and conquered and made the Spanish missions and did that. The conquistador and all of that stuff there. This isn't for us to answer, that's for them to answer.
Yeah, but how
I don't know how to move it.
No, but how
I don't know how to delete it.
No, I want to write a different question.
How you delete it? Delete it?
Okay.
I think you do like something like this. What is it, that? At least 1 minute of content created for a shirt. I don't know what to do. I think it's this.
Yeah. No.
No. That's how you modify something.
Yeah. Start
a poll.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna write it down. Keep going.
Yeah. All right. So look, pretty much, we were talking about how different ethnicities have been classified as different ethnicities. So that's how we got on the entire concept of what exists and what does not exist. I said that we had all of these different people who go back in time. They came and they changed the perspective of everyone's thinking, because now you have all these different people to conquer and they take over. They tell you that this is what you are. They came over here and said that Indians are Indian. You're not Indian. You're indigenous. You're native. You're from where you're from. They don't know where you're from, so they classify where you're from. Mexicans are not necessarily Mexicans. They're either Aztec or Mayan. They're a tribe. They came from where they're from. Even before that, there was somewhere that they came from that was called that until they wanted to call them Aztec or Mayan. It's something that happened originally before you ever had any type of consideration of what you can classify as this or that. Can things exist without having physical evidence?
Yeah, that's the main question, right?
That works. Yeah. I like that. But yeah. So pretty much, I got me, a type of person like me. I'm black. I am for sure not African. Like, I cannot say this no other way. I ain't trying to be mean and nothing. I am not African. I don't know African at all. Nobody in my family is African. I'm black. What you call black, whatever you call black, is this. But I'm not black. I'm African American. Me being African American is something that you would consider as an ethnicity in America, but you don't even know if that's even where I originated from. You know what I mean? And the reason why you won't know that is because of the fact of things like the subjectiveness and people saying this is that, therefore it is being considered as legit. I can't say that he is or he isn't what he is or he is or you know.
I already told you.
I think it all comes from experience of living life, new experiences. I made so many mistakes because of my emotions. I'm going to be 39 this year, and I feel like I'm just getting a grip of life. You understand what I'm saying? I hope people understand what I'm saying, because I know that I'm saying a lot of words. I'm trying my best to make it understandable, but at the same time, like the guy, you like, well, where are you from? What tribe are you from? Because it makes no sense for him to say he's from a tribe because you think he's from America and he talking about pimping. He got to be from America, right? He from Cali. How you from a tribe and you from Cali? Because he was always from a tribe. That's one people who did in some aspects get respected. But you know, in order for them to get respected, they had to get neglected. They had to get conquered in Spanish trades. Oh, man. Well, let's... You want to end the debate?
Okay.
Yeah?
We're gonna kick this out. Yeah. We're getting kicked out.
We're about to get kicked out.
Well, in the morning, early in the morning, they're very loud.
We should start doing more than
Yeah.
that. He said, no, we should just keep going because they do what they do.
Yeah. This is a good topic.
This is
So
a
let's
broad topic.
final answer to the question.
All right, final
let's
answer
hear
to the
from
question. Yeah, Paul.
Spookbag and who else is there? Jasmine or Sal 8770. I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Jazz? I thought that was your wife.
Is that my wife?
What's your wife's name? Come on, bro.
Is that you? Hey, Jazzy. Okay, yeah, that's why I'm just joking.
Oh, wow.
Who else is? Okay, that's it. Let's see. Final answer.
I'm getting
Yeah.
cramps.
Also, but yeah, my wife is Caribbean. She's not African American.
Yeah, so she's Caribbean. She came
Caribbean.
from a place. But then on paper, they're going to say where she is. I mean, like, it says she's Caribbean. But,
Yeah.
oh, okay, she's French.
She's very smart. That's why I asked her to join. Muy inteligente. The smartest Caribbean that ever lived is this one.
Your wife is Caribbean? Does she speak Spanish or does she speak a different language?
They don't know English. They're from Trinidad.
Cause like,
That's-
all right, look, your wife is Caribbean. I seen her. She looks black, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, your wife looks black. If she came here and lived here, they would call her black.
Yeah, she's Trinidad.
Yeah,
But
from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
That's where my people's from. I got people from Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh,
Like,
you heard that, Jazz? There's a Trini here. There's a Trini in the house.
I'm not a Trini, bro.
Oh, you said that's your people.
No, my friends.
Oh, your friends. Okay.
So look, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, I thought you said.
That's I
thought
think
it
that's
was
where I
you.
was concept. So look, think about it. We look exactly the same. We got the same exact mustaches and beards and hang out. We the same size, buffness, height, all the head shape, bone structure. But think about it. That she said they do call me black. Now, if you understand what I'm saying, so once you be black, that's a it opens the way you think because you get treated like you black by being called black. So that don't mean good or bad or anything, but she's from where she was from before she got to be called black. Her people originated they over there by Haiti. Like you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To
Let's
be-
read the answers. I'm reading it. It's been good.
Ew. Oh,
Okay. Well, regardless or something, because we are here. Whether a few people experience it, a lot of people experience it, or no one experiences it.
It exists.
Yes. Okay. So there could be things that exist. You experience them, but they're non-physical. Like they're not.
So they
necessarily
change that off. They do call me black. Whether I'm black or Caribbean, I still exist. Even if, what the heck? Ah, bro, what I do?
the background.
How do I do it? How do I fix it? Fix it.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So look. Whether I'm black or Caribbean, I still exist, even if it's the wrong name. Yeah. So we're not saying that your name or you not existing, but you know why you exist, even if it's the wrong name, because you physically exist. So that's what the concept, how it all started. And then so technically you're agreeing with me too, and you didn't even know it. But that's crazy. But I ain't even trying to get into it that deep. But like, look, so you can't. So then the thing was that how do you know that these things happen? That's how we got into that. So how do you know that these things happen? I said because they were able to look up DNA or find evidence. And then he said, well, then can they find evidence of Julius Caesar existing? I was like, yes, but it's subjective because they said Julius Caesar was with Medusa. Medusa with the snakes in her head. You think Julius Caesar was with Medusa with the snakes in her head? Like, so then that's subjective. Medusa also, Julius Caesar was also with Nefertiti. Nefertiti, a physical black woman that looked kind of real. I could kind of believe that. But either way, it's he say, she say, therefore I was not there. And there is no physical or DNA or any type of evidence that they existed. So therefore, it's he say, she say, I think, but therefore it is. And that means that it's subjective. And that was what the basis of our argument is. It can exist. So no, it cannot exist necessarily, or if it exists, it's subjective. It's no way possible for it to exist and be considered necessarily true unless there was some type of physical or DNA, some type of scientific evidence. Sounds messed up.
Okay, that's a good summary of your side.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Your
You
stance.
got you.
Okay, I'll summarize this is my closing argument.
Yeah, just close it.
I don't believe that we can constrain existence to only what has physical representation, because the best example to disprove that is most of what governs our lives today as humans are things that exist in the non-physical realm. They're concepts, they're set of beliefs, set of ideas, money, governments, corporations. Think of everything that organizes us as a society. All of that doesn't exist in the physical realm. So how could something that doesn't exist in the physical realm but still governs our lives today as humans? And we live by these things, so we obviously respond to them. We obviously believe they exist. There are many things that could exist that do not possess physical representation. There are no physical traces of them. And I use examples as money, as the best example, is that presenting a food source and $1 million, humans would always pick $1 million because we have the capacity to understand subjective attributes or value. Now, saying that only objective things exist is flawed. I believe it excludes almost 70% of what governs our lives today as humans, what we believe in. I mean, even concepts like justice, concepts like Jasmine was saying about love, hate, fear. Okay, everybody can agree that they exist, but they don't have a physical representation. So things could exist that are still non-physical, and we could believe in them, we could live by the rules, respond to them, etc., etc. So the main premise of the idea originated was how can we prove, for example, if something exists or not? His side was, I need physical representation. And I said, that's not necessary. And that's where we got here, to this point. Science could be wrong. Okay, science could be wrong, though. Yes, it could be, true. Okay, so that's the main argument on ideas. And I wasn't planning on actually having a debate, but he started it, and I'm like, okay, I can't. We have to finish it now.
You want to finish it now?
Yeah, I think.
All right, science could be wrong though. Exactly. That's why I said or physical evidence, which means digging up something, which means can't be wrong. But that was our debate for today. It was really fun. Everything went well. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we both agree to either agree or disagree or on whatever it is. It's not even about that. It was really about having an intellectual type of conversation and converse that way. It feels good to speak with like minds and you know, smart people whose level of cognitive thinking is really there. You know what I mean? So it felt good to talk with my brother here. And that's really what it was all about. God bless everybody. Just like that, God bless everybody. Sometimes people would look at that as being subjective in itself. What you believe in, let that take care of you. You know what I mean? And that works. So everybody have a good day. Did not expect to have a debate for. Let's try to end it though. You guys have a good day. Everybody take care, man.